The Carney government is one seat away from a majority government. Certainly not something Canadians elected, but it may very well happen purely because of mostly conservatives crossing the floor to the liberals. Hello, everyone. I'm Adrienne Batra. With me are Laurie Goldstein and Brian Lilly. So, you have been covering the floor crossings, Brian, from stem to stern. Rumors are running wild that the liberals are musing about the fact there are more. There are lots of conversations that are happening. What is this telling you, not only about Pierre Poilievre's leadership, but certainly about these individuals? If it's another conservative that crosses the floor to the liberals, what is it telling you about that?
Well, look, there's a lot going on here. And we heard Tim Hodgson the other day saying that he's getting lots of inquiries. As I broke last week, Hodgson was the man that negotiated for Michael Ma to come over. I know there's lots of discussion about, oh, it was Chinese interference. China had a role in this. Michael Ma's been associated with this group that has close ties to Beijing. All of that could be true. I'm not sure. There's even, dissent within the Chinese Canadian community about how important that is. Although there are some, like Joe Tay, a former conservative candidate, saying that, Beijing played a role. To me, it looks like, as the first person that tipped me off to Hodgson being involved, that it's a Brookfield Bros play. Like these guys were, uh, you know, two big business guys. They didn't work together, as far as I can tell, ever, but they wealthy guys that represent neighboring ridings, and Hodgson got him to move over. Um, if the liberals get more, and liberals are telling me that they will get one or possibly two more conservatives to come over, and they're also really courting the NDP MP from Nunavut. I believe her name is Lori Idout. Um, if they get her, they've got a majority. I really worry about what this does for the country. We've got an issue of Western alienation, Western separation happening. It's at about 33% in Saskatchewan in the latest poll, 30% in Alberta. My guess is it's grown a bit. Mark Carney did some good work with the MOU. I still think it's a good deal. Danielle Smith says it's a good deal, so I'll trust her. Um, but if we, you know, if you cross the floor in one riding, it alters the election outcome for that riding. But if he gets a majority through floor crossing, that alters it for the whole country. And I worry what this will do to the mood of the country and support for Western separation.
Lori, the Liberals, of course, want that coveted majority, and it seems that they might be able to cobble it together through floor crossings. But to that point, this is not what Canadians elected. Uh, Canada isn't that organized. We don't plan to elect a minority government, but that's what we ended up with, and we have in the last couple of federal elections. It is difficult to get a majority in this day and age, but getting it through all these floor crossings, of course, the Liberals are going to take it. They're going to take the money and run, so to speak. You can't begrudge them that. But what does it sort of spell to you in terms of the mood and the temperature of a country that really was divided in the last election?
Yeah, well, first of all, if it's one more conservative that does it, that becomes the conservative known in history as the conservative who gave the liberals a majority government. Whoever that person is, they are going to be forever infamous, even more than the previous ones in conservative circles. I don't know what the liberals will think of them, but I think it's damaging for another reason, and that's that it's taking up all the oxygen from the issues that Canadians want action on. The price of housing, it hasn't improved. The price of food, as Brian and others have written, is going up beyond the regular rate of inflation. And the concerns about trade with the United States are just as difficult, perhaps even more difficult than they were since the start of the election. We still have the sectorial tariffs in aluminum, steel, and other areas, costing thousands of jobs in Canada. We have economic predictions that, maybe we'll avert a full-scale recession, and maybe things will be a little better, or maybe not, but it's not going to be great. And so if you just look at the course of these, the first two defections, the first one done for whatever reason right after the budget, killed all the analysis on the budget, much of which was critical of the budget. The next one comes, they're just about to leave for Christmas, and a Conservative MP who was celebrating with the Conservatives on Wednesday night at their Christmas party, on Thursday night, he's a Liberal.
Wow, such a big welcome. Thank you. Thank you. All I want to say is Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a great 2026 coming to all of you. Thank you, and enjoy the party tonight.
I think what that tells the public is that, given what their main concerns are, it's just another thing that tells the public that what politicians say doesn't mean anything. How could you be in the House of Commons berating Mark Carney on one day and then going over to him saying because he's the leader who will lead the country on the next day? Exactly. Now, the argument is, of course, that, well, given what happened to Dutroux, he wanted to, but who cares? It's consistent to me with, and look, Carney's not the only one who does it, who gets elected saying elbows up against the United States, and ever since has pursued a very different strategy. The honest strategy would have been, look, we're the weaker player here, right? We have to do the best we can do. But Carney so filled up Liberals with this idea that, we were the hockey players, we were going to go in there elbows up and get them, that even after Carney changed his tactics, and I understood why, voters were going, no, we want to go after, like we still have Doug Ford with, he's not going to go to Florida this year. Who cares? For heaven's sakes, who cares? So to me, the problem to me is just one more layer of cynicism, of people feeling it doesn't matter what these people tell us, they're going to do what they're going to do anyway.
Well, it's possible that 2025 ends on a political bang for the Liberals with a majority government. Certainly not something that Canada voted for. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And go to the TorontoSun.com. You'll find commentary and coverage there you will not find anywhere else.